Vue devs, welcome back to Learn Vue. Today we're going to be taking a look at an incredible feature of the composition API, watchEffect. In Vue 3 and the composition API, watchEffect lets us apply side effects, basically run additional code whenever a reactive dependency changes. Let's jump right in. First, let's take a quick look back at watch from the options API. This option lets us declare watchers, which track a single reactive dependency and run a method whenever it changes. If you're looking for this functionality where you want to be super specific about which reactive data triggers your watcher, or you need access to both the previous value and the current value of the watch property, then the composition API still has its own equivalent of the watch property, and the documentation for that is linked down below. However, for other use cases, watchEffect is a better solution. At a glance, watchEffect works pretty similarly to watch. It tracks reactive dependencies used inside this method here, and if any of them change, the effect function will run. Even in this simple example, we can see how watchEffect lets us reapply side effects based on multiple dependencies. Technically, this is doable with watch, but it's a little more work. You have to create individual watchers on each of the dependencies, and then we have to link them all to one method. It could get a little confusing and hard to debug. But with watchEffect, it's much easier. If any of these reactive dependencies change, our effect function runs. Let's take a quick look and actually code a few examples. Inside of our Vue component, the very first thing we want to do is create some reactive data with a composition API. And if you want to learn more about the composition API, definitely check out our intro to VITE and the composition API video down in the description. But real quick, let's import ref from Vue, and then in our export default, we can create our setup method. For our example, we're going to be monitoring a text area. So let's set up a reactive value called text content and set it equal to a ref with the default value of an empty string. And don't forget to return it from setup so our template can access it. Inside our template, let's just quickly create a header and a text area. And on our text area, we can connect this to text content with the Vue model. To make sure everything's working, let's quickly print out the value of text content. And if we save and start typing around, we'll see that we set up everything correctly. Great. Let's remove text content here, and now we're ready to start using watchEffect. The first thing we have to do is come back to our import and add watchEffect. Let's look at a very basic example. Inside setup, let's say watchEffect, and then inside, let's create our effect function that prints out text content.value. And remember, we need .value because text content is a ref. Back in our app, let's open up the console. And we'll see that when our app first loads, a blank line is printed. And that's because watchEffect runs when your component is created. Then, as we type, every single change will be printed to the console because this console.log is being called whenever text content changes. And that's the basics of watchEffect. Now let's take a look at some of its cool features. Let's start off by actually making this watcher do something cool in our app and not just print to the console. Let's say that while someone is typing, we want to display a message that tells us that they're typing. We can do this by creating another ref called isTyping equal to a ref, give it a default value of false, and return it from our setup method. Then, in our watchEffect, let's change this console.log to check if the length of text content is greater than 0. If it is, we want to set isTyping.value to true, and then we can use the setTimeout method to change isTyping back to 0 after 2 seconds. So after we set isTyping to true, let's say const showTypingStatus equals setTimeout, and it takes 2 arguments. The first is a method, so let's make that set isTyping to false. The second argument is how long we want to wait before running this method. So let's set that to 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds. The last thing we have to do is actually display a message. In our template below our text area, let's create a paragraph element that renders if isTyping is true. Inside this p tag, let's put our message. I'll just say Matt is typing. Okay, let's try this. Back in our app, let's type a single character. Our message appears, and then, after 2 seconds, it goes away. Fantastic. However, there's a little problem with this right now. Let's see what happens if we just spam a bunch of characters nonstop. As you can see, every once in a while, our message will flicker. What's happening here? Well, since we're using setTimeout, 2 seconds after we type, our method will set isTyping to false. So what's happening is that even though every time text content changes, isTyping is set to true, old setTimeouts from previous times our watcher is called are running and changing it back to false. And that's what's causing that flicker. Luckily, Vue provides us with a pretty simple way to fix this, called invalidating side effects. This means that we can do something when a reactive state changes before this asynchronous setTimeout is finished. In our case, we want to stop setTimeout from even running if our text content changes within 2 seconds. To set this up, our effect function has an argument called onInvalidate. And this runs if our watcher is called again before our asynchronous side effect completely finishes. Then inside our function, we can listen for this onInvalidate hook, and if it's called, we can cancel our setTimeout by saying clear interval and then passing the name of our setTimeout, so show typing status. That's it. Let's hit save and go back to our app. And now if we do exactly what we just did before, there will be no jittery text and it will consistently show the message while we're typing new content. But as soon as we stop, our code will wait 2 seconds and then remove the message. This is perfect. The final feature of watchEffect that I want to take a look at is how to stop your watcher. By default, our watchers are linked to their component's lifecycle and are automatically stopped when the component is unmounted. But what if we wanted to stop it before that? For example, let's say we want to stop our watcher as soon as our message length is over 10. This is insanely simple. Our watchEffect method returns a stop handler that can be called to explicitly stop a specific watcher. So in our code, let's store this watchEffect as a const called stop. Then inside our watcher, we can check if the text content.value.length is greater than 10. And if it is, we just have to call stop like this. That's it. Let's take a look. We're typing, our message is showing, we type some more, and then as soon as we go over 10 characters, if we start typing again, no message shows up because we're no longer watching our reactive data. One thing to note is that once we stop the watcher, it's actually stopped. It won't start watching our data again even if our text content gets changed back to 10 characters or less. So while this might not be the best use case for this feature, it's still super valuable to understand how to stop watchers in your code. Alright, that's all for this video. I hope you understand exactly how watchEffect works and when it can be useful in your own projects. As always, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more Vue content. And if you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, please leave a comment down below. See you in the next video.